Hi everybody, Eve Everett here, and today we're going to talk about what's sold on eBay. Come and be on the lookout items that you can pick and sell with ease. First item today is a Dwayne Johnson The Rock WWF throw blanket, and if you look to the bottom right of his foot, you'll very lightly see a signature there where someone had written their name. For some reason, I didn't see that at the time that I picked it up, so I picked it up for I think $2. Brought it home, saw it, but I saw that the sell-through rate on these was pretty good, so I ended up listing this in June of last year, and I sold it. Let's see, I sold it. Oh, okay, I sold it in October for $42.99 shipped to Kansas. When I find interesting Louboutin figurines, Louboutin is made in Japan, Lefton, I will pick them up if they are interesting or unique in some way, or like really cute, because those tend to sell fairly well. This particular pair of rabbits, I bought these in February. They stood about 3.5 inches tall, were in great shape, and I sold them about 3 weeks later for $37.50 shipped to California. These are Japanese chokin engraved plates. There's 4 small plates there, and people collect these because of the designs on them. I can't say I'm a great fan, but there are plenty of collectors out there for them. The only thing is you really want to try to find them as in good shape as possible with minimum scratches, which is difficult to do, but they're fairly common to find, and I sold mine for $25. Don't forget your Fire King. Fire King is a very popular brand, especially when it comes to jadeite and some of the light green retro items out there. But Fire King did a lot more than just put those out. This pattern is called Wheat, and it's on a white opaque glass. If you flip it over, it should say Fire King on the back. And I sold 2 serving platters for $37.99. Shipped them to Texas and sold them. Looks like I listed them in very late November and finally sold them at the end of the following March. Don't forget your pewter. Some pewter pieces can do very well. This is a pewter medal from American Mint Landscape, and it seems like these medals and medallions were pretty popular in the mid-century. This one came with this box, and I listed it at the end of November and sold this at the end of January for $26.99. Vintage fountain pens can also command a lot of money. I am no expert in fountain pens, but I know a decent looking fountain pen when I see it. Here we have a red-veined banker's fountain pen along with a more miscellaneous general type of fountain pen. The banker pen is by a company called Evans, and I sold the 2 of these for $29. I sold these in 3 days. If you've ever been to a thrift shop or to a yard sale, you've probably seen these floating around. These are typically called yo-yo quilt dolls. These are 2 clowns. They stood roughly 12 inches tall each. And if you want to give your child nightmares, clowns are always a good way to start bringing them up. But in any event, they did sell for $29 and they sold within 2 weeks. I guess someone really has someone they want to terrify badly. And here's another set of yo-yo quilt dolls. As you can see, the one on the end doesn't look very happy. And I don't know what it is with these dolls. I would not collect them, but people do indeed buy them. And maybe it has something to do with the fact that they look soulless. But in any event, I sold these for $26, and I sold these in a month. Another common thing that you can find around, and you probably have seen these as well, these are 2 vanity quilted pink and blue organizer boxes. One has a lid, one does not. And for anyone that has like that Hollywood glam theme, these would work very well for, or they have a lot of things you could do. I guess you could even recover these if you wanted to. In any event, I sold 2 of these together as a lot for $34. and I shipped these to Ohio, and I sold these in under 2 months. Okay, here we have a Pope Benedict, the Pope of No, rosary, and this came from the Vatican City. Actually, it says from the Vatican Holy See, S-E-E, on it. And I sold this in under 2 months. Shipped to Great Britain for $20 plus the shipping, so that would have been a total of $35. This is a vintage Southwestern Native American wool area rug. It's about 40 inches long, excluding the fringe, by 23.5 inches wide. And I would say this probably dates more towards the 60s, 70s, 80s. It's not that old. It's vintage, but not that old. And I sold this for $44.99. And I picked this up at a yard sale for $3. Here's a storm blue Fair Isle, probably Scandinavian wool runner with fringe, about 31 inches by 12 inches. And looks like this is more of a mid-century piece. I sold this for $42.99 and shipped it to Utah. Finally, for wool items, I have this vintage Southwestern or Mexican bird wall hanging that I sold this for $26.99, and took me about 3.5 months to get that sold, shipped it to Alabama. And now we're going to switch gears to what I call my experimental account that I use to walk people through the process from beginning to end of selling. These are authentic Manolo Blahniks that I picked up at a thrift shop, and they did have a little bit of wear to the tip of the shoe there, and I put these up. You know, I waited for what I thought was an unacceptably long time to sell these. I think I waited for 6 to 8 months. I guess my expectations were a lot higher. I've sold these in the past and done better, but oh well, you can't cry over spilled milk, I guess. $55 shipped. This is a nice pair of Christian Louboutins. They ran a bit small, really nice cork heel, and you know, they did have some wear, so it did take me some time to move these. There's the classic red underside to these shoes. In any event, I did not get nearly as much as I would have hoped, but they did have a lot of wear, and if you look, you'll see that they're not getting nearly as much as what they used to. Nonetheless, I was able to get $99 for these. Always grab authentic Burberry when you see it, even if it's vintage. This is a Burberry Newsboy cap. I posted it and had no problem selling it in under a week for $99. All right, everybody, that wraps it up. If you like what you see, please subscribe and pass the word along. And I'll catch up with you all soon. Stay hydrated. It's getting really hot out there, and good hunting.